Morning everybody, welcome to France. We made it. It's only been what, 7 weeks since I did my last video, and there's been a few reasons for that. Most of it's been just not having time, making sure we had everything sorted for this trip, and then about a week and a half ago I wasn't feeling too great, and then on the Wednesday night before we were due to go away, which would have been on the Monday, I tested positive for COVID. Fortunately I saw it off pretty quickly and I tested negative on Sunday. And so we were still able to go. Fortunately, we had no problems at Dover on the Monday morning. Sailed straight through all the checks and we made our ferry with no problems, so we were on the 6 o'clock sailing, and then managed to drop the wife, my son and her friend and her daughter off in Lille. And then yesterday I did the long drive all the way down to my campsite, Camping La Pastorie at Bedouin at the foot of Mont Ventoux. The original plan was to do the Sanglé today, but it was just such a long drive and I was so tired, getting up at 3 in the morning. Getting up at 3 in the morning, having just done a 10-hour drive. I didn't get to the campsite till 8:30. I was probably set up by about 9. And I just crashed out, slept through till about 7 o'clock this morning. So I've had a good night's rest. I'm going to get another early night tonight, or early-ish night tonight. And the plan is Sanglé tomorrow, up at 3, start at 3:30, and hopefully get the two hardest climbs done before it starts getting too warm, and then get on the easier climb towards the end of as it's sort of mid-morning, late morning. So that's the plan. But we made it, we're here. And I'm currently at the top of the Col de la Madeleine, not the Col de la Madeleine. I've done that, that's a few hours in a different direction. But I've just come out for a little ride, just to stretch the legs, see how I'm feeling post-COVID. Feel pretty good. It's nice to do a little bit of climbing and get that out of the way. So I've just gone from Bedouin over to Molosène and found the bakery, which should be open at 6 o'clock in the morning, where I can get my stamp on my card. So that will be my first stamp, then up over the top and down into Salt to get my second stamp, then up to the top of Mont Ventoux for the final time, get my stamp up there, and then descend down to Bedouin to finish and get my final stamp. So that's the plan. Bike's running well, even though I've got a Franken bike, because obviously the Z back wheel isn't on at the moment due to a problem with that. Not quite sure what happened during the Dragon. I wouldn't think this road would be so busy, would it? Yeah, wouldn't think it's rubbish here. Yeah, about 3/4 way around the Dragon I started getting a bit of rubbing on the rear wheel, and it looks like it's... This is going to be a hell of an edit. Yeah, I started getting some rubbing on the rear wheel about 3/4 of the way round. So I've got the returns label out, so I'm going to send it back and get it looked at, but didn't hit any potholes or anything, so no idea what happened. But it's yeah, a bit of a weird one. So I've had to put my rear wheel off my Orbea on the bike and run the front wheel with the Z, so it's a little bit lighter, so I've still got a little bit of aero for the descents. So anyway, yeah, so I've come out doing about 24-25k today, just an easy ride. I've just got to the top of this climb, so I'm going to go in that direction and head back to the campsite and have a bit of a rest up and probably wander in to Bedouin, get some food, a little bit of shopping, lots of bike shops in there of course, and then tomorrow morning it's the Sanglé. So I'm just going to do a little spin round. Look at that, that's what you call beautiful roads, isn't it? Catch you later. Right, just another quick one. So been back to the campsite, sorted all my stuff out, got my Wi-Fi sorted because I had a problem with the code, and I could not do a video without doing this. Look at that, Mont Ventoux there in the background, absolutely awesome. I'm going to be up there tomorrow 3 times. Oh, it's just mental. I can't believe I just have to do that again. Look, oh, there it is, oh my god. So just taken the back route. Apparently there's a little pathway that comes around the back of the campsite, and I'm heading in to the centre of Bedouin at the moment, and I'm going to have a proper plate of food, something decent to eat, and then it's a French sausage and frites at the campsite tonight, maybe a Belgian beer. I might just allow myself one tonight. But yeah, there it is in all its glory. Still can't quite comprehend what it is I've let myself in for tomorrow, but it's definitely going to be an early start. As I said, 3 o'clock. I want to be down in the middle of town for 3:30, and then make my first note, take the picture to record it all, and then we're going up that way. I have to say, this is a fantastic little place. It's very quiet. It's apart from the local wildlife. Quite funny, this morning about 7 o'clock I woke up and I thought I could hear pigs. I could hear this sort of little snorting sort of noise. I thought, what the hell, wild pigs? No. Anyway, managed to go off to sleep for another hour or so before I got up, and when I got out a little bit later on, there was a couple of people walking their dogs, and it was the 2 little dogs. I know them's been sort of like little pit bull type things, but yeah, they were snorting away there. So yeah, so no pigs. Anyway, right, I'm going to sign off now. Catch you later. Well done, Coca-Cola. That's all 3 done. I've just got the descent to do, back down to Bedouin to finish. Oh, Coca-Cola has never tasted so nice, I tell you. That was hard, very hard. But there we go, just the downhill left. See you later. Good evening, everybody. So today is my last day here in Bedouin. Yesterday I completed the Sanglé de Mont Ventoux, which goes down as easily the hardest and most epic ride I've ever done. And I say that every time I do a bigger and greater challenge, but that was definitely something. The weather has been extremely hot. The afternoon, it's been well up over 36, 37 degrees. So I really didn't fancy doing too much climbing in that heat. So I decided to not go on the Tuesday, which is what I originally planned, because I'd just done a 10-hour drive down to Bedouin from Lille after getting off the ferry at Dunkirk. So instead of doing that on the Tuesday, I did the Sanglé on the Wednesday instead, and that was probably just as well, really, because it was a very early start. It was 3:30 in the morning. Did the first climb in darkness, so the Bedouin climb, which is the one that's on Zwift, and yeah, pretty much had the mountain to myself. Got passed by a couple of cars on the way up, but that was it. And I think I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure I was probably the first person up the top of the mountain on the day. And if I do this, there it is in the background. There's the range, And there's Ventoux. So yeah, so did that first run up in the night, which was good because it was nice, temperature was cool. Got a bit of wind towards the top, but wasn't too bad. And then bumped into some Brits that had gone up to see the sunrise, of all things. So I got a couple of pictures taken at the top, took a picture just as the sun was coming up, which was beautiful. And then put my jacket on, because fortunately I'd taken my wind jacket, because that descent down into Molossen was freezing cold. My legs were shaking. It was a real, you know, and that can probably be a quick descent, but not knowing the road and being kind of still quite dark, I wasn't pushing it on that descent. So I stopped at the bakery to get some water and a pain au raisin, and got my stamp, and then spun round and off we went again, headed back up, this time from Molossen, which I would say is probably the harder side, if I'm honest. There was a section in the middle of about 3-4 kilometres where it wasn't anything less than 11%, and that was really tough. And having already got one ascent in, that really hurt the legs. That was really tough. But yeah, again, that was about 2.5 hours for the ascent, which wasn't too bad. Got to the top, it was still quite early by then, so the temperature hadn't risen too much, so it was still a jacket on the descent down into Salt. There, went into the tourism office, got my stamp in there, and then found a little shop eventually where I could get some water, replenish my bottles, and then spun it round and went up what is allegedly the easier side. But after you've done 2 ascents, it's not easy. And I mean, you know, it's only an average 4%, but then you have to remember that the last 6k is up from Chalet Reynard up to the top, which is a lot steeper. So it was an easier climb, and I was motoring along quite nicely, but it's also a longer climb. It's about 26-27 kilometres, the one from Salt. And then got onto that got up to Chalet Reynard, and then yeah, just had to just grind it out right up to the top, because that was a hard grind at the end. Those last 6k, I really felt them, but it was amazing. And by the time I got up there, that was about 11:45 time, coming up that last section. There was loads of cyclists on the road, loads of people going up. There was people of different abilities, different skill levels. There was kids. It was fantastic. It's just like it must be like every day is a festival of cycling on Mont Ventoux. It's just fantastic. And then to cap it all off, just as I was coming up right towards the peak, a couple of, I think they were F-16s, did a flyby over the top of Mont Ventoux, and one pulled a high G turn over the top. Unfortunately, my camera was still going at the time, so I hope I've got all that on camera. I've checked it back, which was fantastic. Grabbed a Coke, got my stamp at the top, had a bit of a break up there, just soaked it all in, and then came down the descent. I only came down 1 kilometre, and I stopped at the Tom Simpson Memorial, and you know, doffed the cap, left the drinks bottle there, left a bid on there, as you do. And yeah, that mountain, certainly for the Brits, has got some resonance, and to be in that club now that can say that I've done it 3 times, all 3 in one day, is something else. And yeah, then it was just the descent back down to Bedouin, which was fun. Certainly the cars couldn't keep up. I had to overtake all the cars. So I've got all that on video, fortunately. So if I can tie it all in, link it all in with the Garmin via the Verb app, I should be able to get some really nice footage with an overlay of power and speed and all the rest of it. So yeah, that might take a while, but yeah, I've done it. I may never come back here again. I may never climb that mountain again, but who cares? It's there. There's 3 ways up, and I've done the lot. Gotta say, it's been a good week. Got a long drive back home tomorrow, but it's been a good week. Feeling really good about myself. There's a real sense of achievement in that, and you know, I'll tell a lie if I didn't shed a tear when I got to the top of my 3rd time. It was emotional, but yeah, looking up at it now, still can't quite believe I've done it. But anyway, that's the short version of Mont Ventoux. and I may well add some more to it as I go along. I've got some camera footage to edit, obviously, some pictures to put together and stuff, but overall it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to spin around one final time and get that in the background. That's Loopy Cyclist signing off from Mont Ventoux. Les Anglais complete.